Garden railroading, one of the greatest hobbies. When the weather is nice and the trains are running, there is not much I would rather do. But there can be trouble in paradise, and I don't mean the odd derailment. That is to be expected. The big railroads have that problem now and then. No, Mother Nature is playing right along with you, and that can be bothersome. Take this idyllic scene. One morning, you find it has changed into a disaster area. The pier is knocked over, the cabin in the water, and the anglers at the bottom of the pond. Even the flotation devices are ripped off. What happened? The little bandits, innocent-looking raccoons, have been at it again. The model railroader in his basement or attic has no idea what perils are lurking in the big outdoors. There was a campground, not anymore. The campers are in distress. The tents are ripped. A couple of teepees are a total loss. Those same raccoons are also specializing in demolition of bridges. They climb on top, reach down in an attempt to grab a fish, overbalance, bridge, raccoon, and all end up in the drink. It happened not just once, this is a frequent occurrence. You're looking at some samples. In an attempt to claw their way up, the bridge takes a beating. I need to take it into the workshop, dry it out, and it needs rebuilding. I put some webbing over the pond and the bridge to no avail, but it does help to discourage the barred owl. She is a frequent visitor and also has a keen interest in our pond and does catch the odd goldfish. The Mallard Ducks are considerably more peaceful, but they are clumsy and they do leave a mess behind. Now the heron is a different kind of bird. With his long beak, he picks the fish out of the water with deadly accuracy. The biggest go first. Fortunately, he never gets them all. There are also little critters visiting on occasion. Usually, they're not a problem. Not so often, a salamander comes waddling along, sluggish but curious. This one drove off on its own motorbike. There are slugs and caterpillars. I hate to leave them on the track. They make such a mess. Then there are spiders, and sometimes they are taken away by the ants. Once I discovered an ant colony under the cover of the switchboard. Now, the biggest danger are the trample deer. Oh, they look majestic, even cute. But where they have stepped, there is repair work waiting. The main working hours are at night when I am not watching. Railings and small structures are their specialty. But also lampposts and the little people are stepped on a lot. I'm always happy to see them go away and head for the bushes. So much for the animal kingdom. Real-life plants are, of course, a natural on any garden railroad. Unfortunately, some sprout up in areas where they're not appreciated. I make the best of it and use them for effect. And then there are plants that become overly ambitious. I don't like to use herbicides. It's more work, but I prefer to deal with them the old mechanical way. Snip, snip, snip. When the hands get tired, a battery-operated tool takes over. Along the track, a torch works well. Always careful not to start a fire or to damage the track. A bit of reballasting and the track is looking good again, at least for a few months. My layout is surrounded by big cedar trees. They don't really have leaves, but whatever they have, they drop much of it in the fall. It is a daunting task to deal with this onslaught. Sweeping, blowing, and mostly vacuuming are the only way to get back into operation. Anyone can see where the vacuum cleaner has been. It does not happen often, but every now and then a windstorm is blowing through the area. Branches and debris are everywhere. Here a treetop broke off and sailed 50 feet through the air to land, trunk first, right on my layout, barely missing the control box. It embedded itself right between two tracks. Lucky. It caused only minor damage this time. And then there is that challenging season, winter. On a frosty morning, it all looks very pretty, and once the track is free of ice, the trains are running. Even the minor snowfall is easily dealt with. An engine with a snowplow attached does the rounds, and we're back in business. However, if it keeps on coming, all traffic stops. It may look very peaceful and pretty, but danger lurks. The snow load, when it gets wet and heavy, can and will cause damage. When this is all gone, there'll be plenty to do come next spring. Pole lamps are particularly vulnerable. I don't want to complain, but I could well do without the dangerous W's. Wildlife, weeds, wind, and winter.